You are now tuned in to your number one radio station. Violent people! Radio.
Welcome to Violent People Radio, episode 87. I am Dan Rice. I'm joined, as always, by Pat. Pat, how's it going?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I'm excited to have Chris back. Chris, how's it going?
Oh yeah, I'm doing okay. Thanks for everyone who said nice things to me in the past couple weeks. It was not a great time for me mentally, and having nice people say nice things to me meant a lot. And I love you all.
Yeah, the Discord is full of freaks, but they're very, very thoughtful freaks.
Yeah. Thoughtful people. Thoughtfulpeople.co.
We weren't ready for the rebrand just yet. I don't have everything set.
There's legal proceedings that have to happen before we can change the name.
Now, we are, of course, joined by a special guest host, as we are since Sam's death. And this week we have Tanner. Tanner, how's it going? Oh, that's right. Tanner is not here. He is sick and he backed out at the last minute, so I have to call him out on it.
He ate too many hot dogs. We tried to tell him.
We've been trying for 87 episodes.
He was just like 2 hours ago. He was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm down to record. I just need to eat 72 hot dogs before we record." And we were like, "Tanner, like, I don't think Joey Chestnut even does that." But he didn't have it. And now it's just the three of us.
It's like the start of the lone wolf and cub thing, where he puts the ball and the sword down in front of his kid and says, "All right, you have to choose life or death." Except in this case, the samurai puts down a hot dog and a handshake. And Tanner is the baby who chose the hot dog.
Speaking of a hot dog and a handshake, I don't know if this counts as site news, but Maryland's famous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that counts as site news, considering Maryland got 5 trillion retweets and replies on that post
all from
about
the coolest people on earth.
You know you've done well when both sides of the argument are just the worst fucking people in the world.
Yeah.
I was looking for the actual. I wanted to see how many.
Yeah, are we the only people in the world that when given Madman Pondo content are normal, like relatively normal about it? You can't be actually normal about Madman Pondo because he is the weirdest, disgusting freak in the world. And that clip is insane. And like all the people like, are you surprised about that? Like no one is surprised about it, but it's still insane that it happened. Like we can acknowledge that 15 years later.
You can't be more in context than the people in the crowd and the boys in the locker room, and they are shocked by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see
that we're shocked by it.
So for context, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, you should have been able to put it together by context clues, but
Obviously, yeah.
Madman Pondo versus Thumbtack Jack, who's a German guy that no one remembers anymore. at, I think it was IWA King of the Deathmatch, 2009.
Yep.
And Pondo, as the babyface against the heel German, decides to come out with a duct tape swastika on his shirt, a little drawn-on Hitler mustache, and he's goose-stepping and Sieg Heiling to mock Thumbtack Jack. And as he does this, you see through the doorway of the entrance, Devin Moore is just standing there looking like fucking Chris Hero after the CM Punk Jack Perry fight.
Yeah, he is literally the
and he's
notorious
a fucking notorious scumbag. Yeah.
Yeah.
847,000 views on that tweet. I dove into the replies a little bit, and I saw someone, which I thought was really funny. They were like postulating that Pondo made the swastika incorrectly on purpose, rather than he's just a fucking idiot.
He's the dumbest man who's ever lived.
Like, do they think he's trying to make a point? Like, oh, the swastika's pointing the wrong way.
No, this is a pedophile who gives himself brain damage professionally. And professionally,
my favorite replies were the ones, because Marilyn posted the clip, and I think all she wrote on it was just like unfucking believable or whatever, which is an accurate description. And the 10 trillion people who replied like, you just don't understand that this was a much more edgelordy time 14 years ago or whatever the fuck. And just being like, no, I think she understood that part. I'm pretty sure she has an IQ higher than one jelly bean.
Yeah,
I would also wager that Marilyn's watched more 2000 CZW and IWA Mid-South in the last 6 months than any human alive.
Oh yeah.
Like I am friends with Bucky and Siobhan, our dear friends at the Wrestling is Gross podcast. They just released the Grossies wonderful show.
Mercutio.
Yeah, shout out to Mercutio, shout out to Bucky and Siobhan, my dear friends. I would literally would not be here without them. And like that's a clip that like Bucky and Siobhan, who have watched all of this like insane bullshit IWA Mid-South CZW, they are the two people in this world I would defer to, and that would just be like, Jesus Christ, dude. And then there are people who just be like, oh, you don't get it. It was just a different time. Like, no, this is literally an insane thing to do in any context.
The people who are like, yeah, why should you be shocked that Madman Pondo did this stupid thing? It's like, I don't think anyone was shocked, but I mean, more than like shocked that he'd be dumb enough to actually do it. But it's like, no, again, I think Marilyn has heard of Madman Pondo. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's like Pondo and Nazis and death matches. They just bring out all the dumbest discourse havers on the planet.
I think it was
perfect storm.
I think it was last year or the year before that Pondo, a man almost 60 years old, he posted on his Facebook that he was dating someone that was 24, and I felt like that was a big jump for him. Like he had grown.
Yeah, that's huge.
That was like, I was like, oh man, she can almost rent a car. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have to teach her how to drive or anything. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was I could see why that'd be horrible for Marilyn, but it was a treat for me, so. Now, I don't know if you guys came on here to talk about wrestling.
No.
Okay, good. Because have either of you watched the answer is no, because no human has watched anything on Paramount Plus. But has either of you guys watched Mobland?
All right. I resent that remark because Paramount Plus is where you watch Survivor.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, you should watch Survivor and you should watch Mobland.
Yeah, we will get into Survivor. I have not seen Mobland. It seems insane.
It's Tom Hardy's the fixer for a like an English crime family led by Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan, and it's fucking amazing. Like it's not really like reinventing the wheel. It's just like, what if we just put all these big name actors, and Pierce Brosnan's fucking accent's insane, and they're all just doing insane things, and they're like, I'm sure each episode costs, you know, an insane amount, and it's fucking addicting. It's like every episode's like, you just have to keep watching more, watching Tom Hardy be a badass. And I still have not met a human that's watched it. So I've been like, for the last week, going around like spreading it like the gospel. I was like, please, I'll give you my Paramount Plus login.
When it came out last year, I was going to watch it, and then I just forgot about it for a year until you mentioned it just now. And I'm like, oh yeah, Mobland. I was going to check that out.
Yeah, that's part of like the greater Taylor Sheridan universe that includes the Yellowstone universe and Tulsa King and all of our favorite TV programs.
See, I thought that was true, but I don't see his name on it when I looked it up. I didn't see his name, but I thought he touched everything for Paramount.
I don't know if his name is actually on it, but spiritually it is on it. With
apparently
like,
it started as
stars.
like a oh shit, what's that TV show? Ray Donovan. It started as a spin-off of that. They were writing a spin-off of that. They're like, what if we just did something completely different? I don't know, but I don't really know. But that's my big thing. It's better than wrestling. And yeah, it's on my Paramount Plus, which it's confusing because I forget, because it's hooked up to my stupid Amazon, so I always forget that I'm watching Paramount Plus when I'm watching Survivor.
Yeah, speaking of Pierce Brosnan and insane things, nothing like remotely modern relevant, but it just made me think of the film Livewire, where anybody listening to the show who's not seen the film Livewire from 1992 starring Pierce Brosnan, about how water is evil, you should watch that movie right now, because that movie is really fucking sick, and Pierce Brosnan has an insane performance in it.
Water
I
is
love
evil.
Pierce Brosnan.
We owned that one on VHS back in the day. That was on the mantle.
The Pierce Brosnan, a great Bond who is in one good Bond movie.
My mom was she was a big Pierce Brosnan girl. So like, I just have watched every Pierce Brosnan movie just so freaking much. She's a woman of many. I was just thinking about it, like, she's a woman of many tastes, because she went from Pierce Brosnan to Vin Diesel. That was her celebrity crush jump, which I think is weird.
Two of our best actors.
I mean, she knows good actors, but yeah,
two of my favorites.
Two amazing James Bonds.
I would get along swimmingly with
when
you
said Livewire, like, it brought me back to like seeing like GoldenEye, Mars Attacks, Mrs. Doubtfire, Livewire, like just like we had like a little library section of Pierce Brosnan films.
The Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Lawnmower Man because they're like, we have this, genius cyberneticist and scientist and all this stuff. Who do we guess? Pierce Brosnan. And he's just, he's just like, I'm just going to continue playing this like I'm Remington Steele.
Yeah, the regular Lawnmower Man is like a kind of sick movie. If you watch the director's cut of the Lawnmower Man, it is awesome. Like, literally everything they cut from the Lawnmower Man to make the theatrical cut is the coolest shit in the movie. There are VR monkeys shooting people with guns. It's awesome.
Okay, speaking of monkeys, though, I just saw today that the other monkeys were mean to Punch, like a day after they seemingly accepted him in that Japanese zoo.
Oh,
my heart is shattered. That is the news story that I care about in the world more than anything in wrestling. I care about Punch the Monkey being accepted by his peers.
See, that sucks for me, because that feels like something I would never have looked back into. It's like I was walking around thinking he had a new family.
Yeah, and then one of the older monkeys today was like, "I'm gonna beat your ass," and then he ran away and clung to his stuffed toy.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to keep tabs on this. If I have to update the podcast weekly.
I like it.
Though the worst thing about it is that the fucking Tates were like, "We will buy that monkey."
Oh God, might as well send it to
And I'm just
Dragon
kind of
Gate.
like, I don't know how forward thinking Japan is on, like not selling their zoo animals to sex criminals. So I'm just quietly hoping that they are on the right side of this issue.
Well, I can tell you a story about monkeys and Japan that's wrestling related, and it's not fun.
All right, yeah, no, we gotta hope that Shingo Takagi keeps himself occupied beating his wife instead of this little monkey.
We can only hope.
Shout out to Orchid.
My grandma who I've been talking about, who's been going through dementia, she's been watching the Secret Life of the Zoo, and she doesn't like.
I thought you were about to say she's been watching like Shingo Takagi, and I'm like,
That'd be
don't
crazy.
do that to
I
her.
think wrestling would really mess her up. But she thinks that the zoo is like a family, and she's like, I can't, like, she's always talking to me about like, can you believe this family has this many animals? I'm like, that's crazy. Doesn't make sense. She's like, I'm pretty sure they have a rhino. I was like, that's wild.
Literally wild.
But like, it's just like it's so funny because just how the brain works. She'll tell you full stories about a baby orangutan being born and like every detail of it. But then she just thinks it's like in someone's backyard. So it's like you almost have it. You almost have the context of what's happening. No, I don't.
Man,
I don't share wrestling with my family. That would be probably a crime.
yeah, it's literally a crime.
Ugh. I guess. Did you guys watch any of that shit this week? Either of you?
Bits and bobs.
What'd you check out, Pat?
So I saw I don't know if either of you had a chance to watch this. Sadika is back. Our girl.
I have not.
I did not watch it either.
Okay. You gotta, like, after we're done recording this, make the time to watch this. It is an extreme match between Sadika and Reina Oscura for the King Phantom in Arena San Juan Pantitlan, the Cathedral of Lucha Libre. It's an extreme match that somehow ends in a double countout because they're doing that. Twice Reina Obscura fucks up a code red. And on the first time, she almost kills Sadika, and on the second time, she almost kills herself later in the match. It's awesome. They are going into the crowd and swinging light tubes full force without any regard for any other body that might be near them. On Twitter, I just posted Sadika doing a like no scope back fist light tube shot directly to Reina Oscura's face. If they keep this up, 2026 wrestling is officially back. If they don't keep it up, then I don't know. But I mean, this has like tables made out of plywood boards that are put on top of beer crates. It's everything you want out of like shitty indie lucha libre, other than actually being in a junkyard. Though it's Arena San Juan Pantitlan, so that's honestly one notch up from being in a junkyard. I'm pretty sure this is the venue that they had to close for like 2 years because it was just a death trap in the case of a fire. Honestly, unbelievably sick match. Another one in that vein, also from the King Phantom in Arena San Juan Pantitlan. I think I mentioned it last week, but I want to mention it again just to get people to watch this. Dark Infernum versus Candy Rebel. Now, we all love Sadika, right?
Of course.
We can all picture her as a wrestler in our minds. Now, imagine if there were two of her, and Sadika's talent and ability to wrestle was split evenly between these two bodies. These two women are out there having a lucha extrema where I watch and I think like, oh, one of them might kill the other just because they don't know what they're doing. You can't fake that kind of excitement. It's like, why don't they just make the entire match out of Kyle Fletcher landing on his neck? And not on purpose. But yeah, that's mostly what I watched. Other than the match that I recommended, I don't know if we're actually going to do that match as the big top.
I think it's the big top.
I did watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Dan, did you watch it?
I did watch it, yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right. So I'll hold off discussion for that. Other than that, I listened to a lot of while I was at work this week, I caught up on Jim Fannon's podcast, and he is getting really fucking annoying.
Jim Fannon?
Jim Fannon, who'd have thought? He tells these stories, and I've seen it theorized by other listeners that he's trying to like become like a Cornette type figure where he's doing a character. But even then, he tells these stories about himself where he's like, he thinks it's an impressive story, but it makes him sound like the world's biggest, most unpleasant baby. Just, I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that,
like, the thing about Cornette is like, as annoying and stupid and often racist as Jim Cornette is, and he is a massive dickhead grifter, like he is someone who can say that he is important to the history of professional wrestling. Like, there is a reason he has a platform, even though he has turned it into the platform that he has, which is evil and stupid and annoying. Because he has been a booker in major promotions. He has been a manager, like he has been behind the scenes of major promotions. Like, he's been there. Jim Fannon is just like, I mean, fucking Jim Fannon.
I mean, so one of the crazy stories he told in one of the most recent episodes is, you guys remember Shane Storm from Chikara?
Yes.
Yeah, I know our Chikara expert has retired. But
yeah, well, R.I.P. But so Shane Storm would do the thing where he'd hold up a stop sign and then the other guy would like stop. And that's, it's the bit. Fannon gets like so upset in just retelling this story that he can barely speak, but he talked about managing someone as he calls it a tryout, and he's telling them backstage, like, if he pulls out that stop sign and you sell for it, then I'm going to kick both of your asses. I mean, first off, it's awesome that Jim Fannon tells these stories about how he was a badass threatening to beat people up, which I guarantee did not happen. He just sat there and sulked. But he's telling this guy, like, if you sell for this other guy's, thing, like I cannot afford to look that stupid because I'm supposed to be fighting for control of this company. He really just gives the impression that everyone on the show exists as an extension of Jim Fannon, and he is the star. But he's also like shit talking Chikara gimmicks and Orange Cassidy and stuff and then 10 seconds later he's talking about how furious he is that Smart Mark Video wouldn't add the Benny Hill yakety sax music over a bit in a comedy tag match he was in where he was getting chased around by Necro Butcher. Like, I feel bad, I want to go back to listening to Saraya because her head is completely empty. She basically exists to care for adopted dogs, which honestly, thank God someone's doing it. But she's much easier to listen to than just how unpleasant and whiny and delusional about his own importance that Jim Fannon is.
Well, a couple things. I haven't listened to the podcast, Fannon Flashbacks, yet. I have, of course, talked to him about being on VPR at some point.
Okay.
So it's good that we're getting this out there. Thirdly, he is very much trying to turn the podcast into him becoming a thing again. Like, he's got license in Kentucky and is begging for bookings. He wants to, have Bull Payne get, unretire and work with him. He wants, Todd Morton. He's trying to get the band back
No,
together.
he ends the episode with openly begging for
Oh, okay.
people to hire him.
That's what his Facebook is. His Facebook is just like, please book me. And then if he's also like always jumping in, being like, hey, if you're booking any guys who were ever in IWA Mid-South, which is like, that's a lot of fucking guys. I'd love to manage them. So
it'd be awesome if they were like, we'll bring you in, but only for like Danny Daniels, like all the people that he hates and will never forgive over, slights from 20 years ago.
We'll bring you in, but it's just to manage a Chikara team.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, so future VPR guest, friend of the pod, Jim Fannin.
Piece of shit.
I mean,
our friend.
Good manager, better person.
I mean, he would not be the most annoying person ever be on this podcast.
That's true. That's true. We do have Porik on a lot.
Oh my god, so much. I want everyone in the podcast world to know that if you ever ask me to be on a podcast, the time of day that Porik comes on this podcast, it's a big fuck no.
Yeah.
Shout out to Porik.
I'm actually shocked that we didn't ask Porik to jump on this week when Tanner, like 30 minutes before recording.
I think that was just us being nice because it was already like 1 a.m.
He would have said yes. He's the best and the worst.
Yeah, actually, that's what we should do. Is we should hook Fannin up and then trick him into being on 2012 Royal Rumble with Porik, because he would sit there for an hour and be like, "I didn't watch that shit. I don't care.
I was too busy making towns."
No, because he'd be like, I was checked out of the business at this point. Ian Rotten drove me out of the business. He broke my love. And, I'm also not going to watch it now. And I'm going to be upset that anyone thinks I should give a shit. He's just a cool guy.
I'm trying to think who from the 2012 Royal Rumble would have worked IWA Mid-South. Maybe Road Dogg?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah. Maybe did R-Truth ever do any shots there? I can't remember, but
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm trying to think of someone that would have been for those early IWA Mid-South days, but
I feel like there might have been one where they splashed out to get Hacksaw in.
Oh yeah, true. So yeah, coming to a future late night with 2012 Royal Rumble, Jim Fannin. You heard it here first. I guess I can talk about some wrestling I watched. I'd like to say that I almost feel like the 2026 AEW live watch experiment's over. I was really upset when Hangman beat Andrade. That was really rough. And then I had to watch an MJF main event. And then I put on Dynamite this week, and I'm sure Moxley with Mark Davis was good, but I turned it off like within 5 minutes. I think it's just I don't know. It's just I do not want to watch Hangman versus MJF, and I just can't picture any fan or human that does want to. Like sometimes it's like, oh, that's not for me, but I see the appeal. I don't see the appeal in that decision at all, and it really took me out of the company. That I'm sure I'll pick and choose stuff to watch, but I was doing pretty well of watching the stuff live, and I just, February, it's already over.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch. I've still only seen the first episode of AEW television of this year. I actually heard the Dynamite was very good. Like I have been specifically recommended the Kevin Knight versus Beast Mordos match, which, yeah, looking at the card, that's the match I would like. I'm sure Swerve versus Kenny is also good. But like just talking about MJF versus Hangman Page. Like last year, their first match kind of shocked me because it wasn't terrible. And then they wrestled each other again, and it was just the dirt worst bullshit in the world. And I don't need to see that.
Yeah, so that was my AEW experience in the last week. I watched Fourth Rope's Heels Have Eyes, West Side Gun Day. It's from August, but this is pro wrestling's great. It's from August, but it just went up 2 days ago on YouTube. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. I watched Enzo versus Mojibari, Kevin Knight versus Gino Mendina and Kevin Blackwood, Daniel Garcia versus Joe Alonzo, Zilla Fatu versus Journey Fatu, and Josh Bishops versus Matt Riddle in a steel cage match. And I gotta tell you, the best match out of all of those, that's Enzo versus Mojibari.
I had zero doubt.
I just, I'm not a big Mojibari guy. Don't know a lot about him. I know he's been around Canada for quite a while. Apparently him and Enzo have had a bunch of matches, because I was like, I just couldn't believe I came away being like, oh, that was the best match. I mean, the Fatus against each other was fine. Bishop and Riddle in the cage. I don't know. Like, I'm an MLW guy, and I try to support a good guy like Matt Riddle, but he's so fucking washed. He's so done. Bishop blades, and half his hair is fucking, dyed red from the blade job, and the match still is just, it's nothing. Between making him face Matt Riddle and then he's aligned with the Good Brothers in that promotion, it's tough to get behind my boy Josh Bishop. I also watched from Destination 6 Wrestling, AMB versus Gavin Parker. I've talked about this promotion before. They are out of an old church, so I just think it's like one of the coolest venues, because you have fans in front of the old organ pipes. You have the upper balcony level, and then they do this. They do the Ultimate X match, the indie version of it, and that's what this match was. And it's just super kind of like endearing and fun. And I bet if you're there live, it's amazing. Those matches have kind of been done to death. There's only so much you can do with them. But these guys, I mean, they tried their best. I think every single time one of them took the other one off the cables, they did it in a different way, which I thought was fun. They weren't just pulling each other down. They were pulling each other down into, stupid shit like lung blowers and Death Valley drivers, and, a little over the top. Like I said, I really enjoy the aesthetics of this promotion. It's Destination 6 Wrestling. They don't post very often. This is actually on AMB's YouTube channel, but it's definitely worth a watch. And then continuing watching for the VP 100s from last year, I was watching some stuff from Nation Extreme Wrestling and DOA Wrestling from Pacific Northwest. I particularly liked Cole Rivera had a match with Judas Icarus for NEW that I really liked. As much as I like the tag team of Icarus and Williams, I really like Icarus in singles matches too. And Cole Rivera, he is, I think, 2 or 3 years into the business. I can't tell because he's still cage matchless. But he's a guy I enjoyed a lot too. I don't think he's going to make the list, but he had that match. He had a fun match against Cody Chun out of DOA. And it's just, I guess it's not just Pacific Northwest. It's like all Indies, where it's just they have so much stuff that I think is really, really cool. But then the rest of the card is just stuff I would never, ever watch. Outside of that, I watched, you're going to find this hard to believe, I watched a lot of old Ring of Honor wrestling. I don't know why. I don't know if they've always been doing this, but the Ring of Honor YouTube has just been uploading banger after banger. In the last 9 days, they've uploaded Homicide versus Steve Corino, no ropes barbed wire match, a fun Kushida versus Roderick Strong match from 2015, Super Dragon versus Excalibur from Do or Die, Smojo versus Jay Briscoe in the cage, Like I said, they just have been the FTR Briscoe's dog collar match. They have just been, which I guess all that stuff is available to watch, if you know how or you own it legally or whatever. But it's just fun to be scrolling through YouTube and you're like, oh, I can watch like one of the greatest matches ever. Let me click on Joe versus Jay in the cage. And it keeps me from having to watch new wrestling. So outside of the big top, I think that's everything I watched that was noteworthy. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, so not a lot. I was like last week I was just not in the mood to watch much of anything, and I still have not gotten to the New Beginning for New Japan, which I'm very excited to watch. There's some stuff I'm very excited to see from both the New Beginning and the lead up that I haven't watched yet. Specifically, my beloved Knockout Brothers, and also some stuff with like Zack Sabre Jr., Oiwa, etc. I did finally finish that ICW No Holds Barred show from the beginning of the year. The main event with John Wayne Murdoch versus Bear Bronson. Fun match. Nothing like overwhelmingly like, oh, this is the sickest shit I've ever seen, but like really solid deathmatch main event. Danny DeMonto versus Vixen. You've seen Danny DeMonto in a Tokyo Tower light tube bundle deathmatch versus a thick woman wearing fishnets before, but it's still fun. It's probably, I mean, Vixen is no Mickey Knuckles, but who is? But that's a fun time. I watched a couple matches from New Wave Pro at the start of the year. Mad Dog Connolly versus ZDP. Not a great match. I think Mad Dog is really fun. Gets some like great moments where he's just beating the dog shit out of ZDP. But the match structure, not great. Ends kind of on a wet fart. But Mad Dog, like, if you're a Mad Dog fan, you'll find something to like in this match, even if it's a pretty minor work. I also watched Big Beef versus Eric Surge from that same show. I love Big Beef, but that match wasn't much to write about. But I mean, not much other than that. But transitioning to what happened on the site, I did watch finally so much Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.
Fuck yeah, get into
from last year. If you missed it, I wrote on violentpeople.co, a website on the internet that talks about wrestling. I decided to dive into, and I've talked about it on this show before, and I finally did it. I dove into Survivor and reality TV in general legend Johnny Fairplay, John Dalton's case for Wrestler of the Year for the year 2025 in Boca Raton Championship Wrestling, which is like your very classic Florida. Not just Florida, these indies are everywhere, especially on the East Coast, that just book a lot of former WWE talent that doesn't work anywhere else. Like we've talked about Enzo already. on the show. This is a place where Enzo will show up. It's a place where Brutus the Barber Beefcake is the commissioner of the promotion. You'll see Odyssey Jones working his first matches on the indies before he ends up going to All Japan. And they made Johnny Fairplay from Survivor Pearl Islands the GOAT. They made him Cruiserweight Championship. And I decided to see what that was all about. And this may shock you, but this 40-something-year-old man who is famous from reality TV, even though he does have some professional wrestling background throughout the year, he does not do a lot of pro wrestling in any of his matches. He does a lot of stalling around the ringside. He does a lot of stooging, as we like to call it. But there are moments where he is like actually in the ring and selling, and I detail it all to see if Johnny Fairplay can make my VP 100 list. And the answer may surprise you. It probably won't, but I had a fun time watching all of this garbage wrestling, because I do love to wade around in the garbage every now and then. If you would believe IWRG's biggest fan in the world loves to wade around in the garbage.
It seems very uncharacteristic of an IWRG fan. I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a fun time, and some people have seemed to like it, and I am glad that there was an audience for this article other than myself, because mostly I did it because I wanted to talk about Survivor and shitty Florida indie wrestling, even if no one else cared. And the fact that other people also seem to at least vaguely care about it made me smile. And thank you for that.
Now, I don't want to spoil. I don't want to get into all the matches, but I will say I picked out randomly to watch the Johnny Fairplay and Harley Cameron versus Renee Michelle and Tyler Breeze match, and that's a fucking fun match. Now, Johnny Fairplay does not wrestle in it.
Yeah, he is in the ring for he's in the ring for 3 seconds, and I'll let you guess what 3 seconds of the match he's in there for.
And now you're talking down this promotion, which I got to dive more deep into, because, like I said, I didn't want to talk about it during my list, but I did watch that match earlier today, finally, and I got to watch more of this, because this promotion might be my new favorite promotion this year. I talked about becoming a Mo Jabari guy based on one match. This same show, he's wrestling Kerry Morton, which this show also features Jack Tallis, friend of the show, versus Odyssey. AJ Francis versus Cha-Cha Charlie.
Yeah, that's a big feud. We love the AJ Francis versus Cha-Cha Charlie Florida indie feud.
And we covered this offline, but I am a challenge fan. And Johnny Fairplay is the Cruiserweight champion, but are you aware of who the All-Star champion is of Boca Raton Wrestling? It's Mark Long.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Long of Real World Roll Rules Challenge fame. It's fucking, apparently, I think he's got to be older than Johnny Fairplay.
Probably.
Yeah, he's 54, and he's out here wrestling. He has a match with Cesar Bonani. Is that how you say that guy's name?
Yeah,
something
Cesar Bononi. I don't know, but
he's another guy.
Sleazy Punani is his name.
That's what it is. I clicked on his instead of Mark Long's cage match. I was like, holy shit, he wrestles all the time. Mark Long does not wrestle all the time. Mark Long has had 7 matches in the last 3.5 years, all of them for Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.
We love Boca Raton.
Yeah,
love Boca Raton.
I'm gonna have to dive deeper into this.
Yeah, it's the best place to watch Bull James. And I know everyone is.
People are saying, where do I see Bull James?
Who is?
I will say it's crazy. It's not like they're getting insane numbers, but a lot of these matches I watch, for the show are like 130 viewers, 360 views. Their shows they put on, their full shows are like 11,000 views, 5,000 views, 3,000
It
views.
is honestly crazy.
I don't know what the market is for it. It clearly exists.
Like I kind of get like actually I don't get it, because like the small of the shows featuring Johnny Fairplay, the one that had the fewest views was the one that was worked at a reality TV convention, and that featured Rupert from Johnny Fairplay's original season of Survivor, one of the most iconic Survivor players in history, throwing Johnny Fairplay back into the ring. And like there are other reality TV stars at ringside, because like I said, it just happened at a reality TV fan convention that had the fewest views, which I would assume that would be like their prime audience.
I have a theory. Too many of their views were there live.
That's fair. That is fair play.
People were traveling for this one. Holy shit, I haven't seen Bull James in a while.
He's so big.
Holy fuck.
I mention it in the article. He is like
it's
Bull
still
James.
shocking.
You remember him being a big guy. He is at least 60% bigger than you remember him.
Like I said, I saw you call that out, but then I was like, I just now was scrolling through, and he's legitimately 2.5 Johnny Fairplays. I mean, that's conservative. Yeah, I mean, I might like Bull James. I got to watch some wrestling. Fuck, yeah, Bull James eating good. So our big top was not just what's going on the site. We like to only cover, important things, big things that get speaking of views. This has 166 views on YouTube. It's the talk of just wrestling in general. Chris, can you help me out with the pronunciation of this guy's name? El Hijo del... Oh, Chris is out for a second.
It's Tarahumara.
Tarahumara, okay. I wouldn't trust myself to say that. Versus Ray Dragon. Pat, you sent this to us about an hour or two ago and said we had to watch it.
So, yeah, I saw it on Trippin' Balls' Twitter feed, and he posted a clip of it, and I was just like, I need to see what the fuck is going on, because this is my kind of old man lucha match. This is a match from 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like February. It's in Kayros Gym. The YouTube link says that says Indie Revolution. I have no idea if that's the promotion or if that's just something that they put in the YouTube title. But it is a lucha extrema between Elio del Tarahumara and Rey Dragon. And they go fucking crazy. So my question is, Chris, do you have any experience with either of these gentlemen in your rounding up of lucha over the years?
Chris is muted, so he might be out for a minute. I don't know what's going on, but
okay. No, I can't see when someone else is muted on this.
Okay.
This new thing.
We'll have to carry on without him here, but this was fucking fun as hell. But the biggest takeaway for me was Mexico. I mean, Mexico is such a better audience than America. Like this match is so fucking good, but the crowd is such a big part of it. They're all flipping out. They're on their feet the whole time.
The crowd care about these two like 50-year-old like gone to seed bodybuilders. One of whom is dressed like a clown of some kind. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be, and the other one is just dressed as a guy wearing a lucha mask. Special shout out to the referee in this, which is just a man in his 40s wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Not a referee t-shirt, just a t-shirt.
No, some of the biggest spots are me watching him count, and I'm being terrified. I'm terrified the whole time because this guy has no gloves, and that ring is covered in debris.
Yeah, he is a trooper.
Chris, we were wondering, have you rounded up either of these folks before?
No.
Okay. Man, you're digging deep in it then, Pat, if you're
So earlier I called Arena San Juan Pantitlan like one notch above the junkyard. I think this Kayros gym kind of exists between those 2 points. It's not quite a junkyard, and it's also not quite not a junkyard.
Yeah, it's the missing link.
It's like a warehouse or something. I fully expected the camera to turn around and show like a fully operational auto body shop.
Now the lucha refs there's always shenanigans, but I like the point where he's trying to remove the hood of that car or whatever, and the wrestlers they just get actually mad at him. And I always like it's like this is not a work because you have not shown as much emotion at any other point in the match. But it's just two dudes just fucking killing each other, and they have like the giant light tubes, the one that are like, what are they like, probably 7-8 feet long.
Yeah, like the industrial ones that you would put in the ceiling of a warehouse.
Yeah, so it's they probably the warehouse is going to come in and be like, oh man, all our fucking tubes are gone again.
Actually, it can't be a warehouse because I'm going through it and I'm like, there was one side of the ring where I thought there was grass, and I'm like, yeah, there is grass because there's a tree stump next to the ring.
So it's almost like
it's a tree stump and AstroTurf. What the fuck is going on in this place?
It is one of the most insane environments I've ever seen.
Huh. It's almost like stop wrestling for a second. I'm trying to figure out where you are.
Yeah, we need the other part.
We need a
somehow both
GeoGuessr
indoors
Pro.
and outdoors at the same time.
Yeah, this is a match that people should check out. And yeah, I have nothing else to recommend for either of the guys. You get the lucha, the indie lucha classics where sometimes the cameraman's like a little slow. He's not paying attention. His attention drifted. But you also just get two, 40 to 60-year-olds trying to murder each other.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Tripping
if
balls.
you like
He's
Mr.
platforming
Condor,
Jim Fannin, but he's also doing this.
Yeah. This is for fans of Black Terry, R.I.P. Just, neither of these guys are Black Terry, but they're carrying on the spirit of just being weird old men trying to murder one another.
Yeah, they are his disciples.
TARAHUMARA has a match against Arrow Boy from a couple months back in that same arena.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's, if he's not involved in, owning or, otherwise organizing the space, I would be shocked because he's in like all of their main events.
He probably built whatever it is.
Yeah. But I mean, the crowd's chanting for him the entire time. So he's clearly the local favorite. I didn't catch who his second was. I didn't catch the second of either of these guys, but they have seconds who wander in and out.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I almost didn't watch it, but then we jokingly said, it was like a last minute change of the podcast, like, let's just make it the big top, where I'm like, this might be the best match I watched all week. Probably is the best match I watched all week, and
absolutely the best match I've watched this week.
I know neither of these guys, and I want to see more.
One of my favorite things is that TARAHUMARA brings in a barbed wire chair, teases using it, gets cut off by Rey Dragon. The barbed wire chair gets tossed aside, and then they just forget about it for the rest. Like, they're beating each other with light tubes, with car hoods and whatever. The barbed wire chair that clearly someone put a lot of work into making just gets thrown aside, and honestly, they don't need it. This thing is just as nasty as it's going to be with or without it.
And I want people to actually watch this. I'll probably try to include a link in the show notes, but the finish wasn't amazing, but like I had this thing where in death matches, as long as it's not a roll up, I'm into it. So a definitive finish is always fun.
I mean, the finish with it was just kind of like eventually it had to end.
That's what it felt like. It felt like they decided it was like, hey, whenever I hit you with this move, we're done.
I will say neither of them had the sickest thing I saw a week, which was in that Sadika versus Reina Oscura match where they do the bit where you stick light tubes down the back of someone's shirt and then kick the tube so that they break inside the shirt. Sadika and Reina Oscura did that to one another and then didn't take like the broken ends of the tubes out, so they're wrestling for another 10 minutes and you see just like bulging out of their backs the broken light tube bits. That is the most insane thing I've seen all week. Everything in this match is a close second.
I mean, I don't know. Tree Stomp is pretty high up there, which there has to be a match. One of these, I'm going to have to watch more of these. There has to be a match where they utilize that Tree Stomp.
I think we got to go all in on Kayros Gym to find out, yeah.
First Violent People meetup. We all go down to Kayros Gym.
Hell yeah.
They would be so fucking confused. The wrestlers would just be like, "Oh, you know, it's awesome that you're here, but like, what the fuck?
How did you get here? How did you find out about this?"
Oh my gosh.
We're one of the, you know, we're just 4 of the 146 views of your latest show.
Just you guys need to bring in Johnny Fairplay if you want to up these numbers at all.
Oh my God, if Johnny Fairplay was here. If Rupert was at ringside for this match.
Rupert fits in with this crowd. If Rupert was sitting there, like they question us sitting there, but if Rupert comes and sits down, everyone's like, yeah,
with his
of course.
Jean shorts and tie-dye tank top. Yeah. He's fitting right in.
They're like, this gringo's fine.
I will say there's one more thing I appreciated about this match. It's been a while since I've seen a good shoot headbutt contest. You know, not since like Goto versus Shibata, that era of stuff, and eventually they kind of stopped with that because you know, they realized it was bad for people. No one told these guys. They're just doing like full on like billy goat headbutts to each other.
Yeah, what happened to the game I love? It's right here.
It just moved down to Mexico.
Folks, if you need to fall back in love with wrestling, stop watching fucking AEW. Be like Dan. Give up on AEW.
Yeah, stop doing fucking Seth Rollins discourse on Twitter and watch some real shit.
I mean, just whether or not you love wrestling, just stop doing that, period. No one gives a fucking shit.
Do I even want to... What did I miss? I didn't even know what's going on with Seth Rollins.
It's the usual performative shit of like, you know, I'm going to post 200 wrestlers better than X.
Oh.
And it's just, you know, it's just engagement bait.
Mm. Yeah, so
even though I dearly love some of the people doing it, we don't need to do it.
It looks like this Kayros Gym brings in some, you know, big names. That same show with Arrow Boy and TARAHUMARA has Flamita and Dragonbane against each other, and then a 4-way with Galeno Del Mal, Alpha Wolf, Bendito, and Vingador.
All right, we got the 2026 promotion of the year, possibly.
Oh, I'm also seeing like some random like Americans like in these posters. Like I'm sure these guys are like sex criminals. So that's always a plus in a wrestling promotion. I'm sure this is
Alright,
I'm sure this has got to be some Brit Rest guy I don't know that like is hiding out. So that's exciting.
Yeah, honestly, shocked Marty's not here.
You know, I did see that the first Sexy Star had a match this week, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere. And that's made me sad that people aren't even filming Sexy Star matches. I'm really hoping that her match that involves both Microman and We Seen El Dog.
Oh
I'm
shit.
hoping that gets filmed.
Oh, if that
It's
doesn't make tape, we have truly lost something.
It is Big Mommy, Microman, and We Seen El Dog versus Mini Tigre Blanco, Sexy Dulce, and the Zombie.
Oh my god, I need that now.
Yeah, it's not, and it's on a show main evented with Kanek and Ultimo Dragon and some other people.
That main event. Sorry,
Lucha Libre remains the sweet science.
Imagine liking any other kind of wrestling.
Impossible.
Well, that is the big top from the match everyone's talking about. Again, I will try to link it in the show notes. I may fail, so just YouTube it yourself. Is it my YouTube finally updated? So now it's awful. I can no longer. You're talking about this forever ago, Pat. You can no longer search by upload date. And
yeah, I hate it so much.
So I have to go like when I'm doing my usual. Let's find out what Drew Gulak and Mike Quackenbush and all these cancel guys are doing. I have to go by like last month uploads and just scroll and hope I find it. But also it started it just translates everything for me whether I want it to or not.
Yep.
I think that's a channel by channel setting.
Oh, okay. I
think channels set it to that because like La Tijera, I watch a lot of their stuff, especially for the Arena San Juan Pantitlan stuff. And they do that for the backstage interviews, and it's always fucking freaky.
Well, oh yeah, well that too, but I also meant they seem to be
yeah, and they'll do it for
some of the
commentary.
titles. Like when I search for
the titles too. Yeah, I think that's a channel by channel thing. Like I think they tick a box that says like auto translate this.
So I'm sure they think they're being helpful, but it ruined. I can't find stuff. It confuses me.
It's not helpful at all.
Yeah, it's like I'm not looking for Black Brain Jr.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm already in the trenches digging through YouTube. You're not helping me. Oh, I think we forgot to mention. I'm pulling up the questions. We got to mention Johnny Fairplay. Loved the article. At least that's what he told Porter. Yeah.
Yeah, big fan of the site. Johnny Fairplay.
All right, you guys want to answer some of these Discord questions?
Always love to.
Eamon, question for the pod: if you could only watch the works of either David Lynch or David Fincher, which would you choose?
David Lynch.
Pat?
Honestly, I think I have to go with David Fincher. I love David Lynch, but I don't think I love any one of his movies as much as I love Zodiac.
The thing is, like, I do love Zodiac, but like the works of David Lynch, that just includes all of Twin Peaks, the television series, and not only Fire Walk with Me. And like Twin Peaks is like,
but David Fincher, the works of David Fincher includes the video for Express Yourself by Madonna.
Oh, damn.
See, I was interpreting this question in two different ways. It's like if I had to delete one of their works from existence, I would delete Fincher and keep Lynch. But if I could only watch, like that's the only media I could take in for the rest of my life, I stick with Fincher because I think that it's more broad. It's more like, oh, I can watch this on an afternoon. I could throw this on while I'm making dinner. I don't feel that with Lynch, but I think the highs of Lynch filmography probably wins out.
I mean, I don't know, like Twin Peaks, especially like first season Twin Peaks. That's like an endlessly rewatchable season to me, and like with David Lynch too, you do get like the Straight Story, which is just like a regular, like beautiful movie. It's still like with the small town, like quirky characters, there's a lot of David Lynch heart in it, but it's not like facing the evil of like suburbia or evil of Hollywood behind the scenes. It's just like an old guy contemplating death and trying to make amends, and like very sweet and charming film, and like also the Elephant Man and stuff like that. So
I do
like
love
I do love David Fincher, but like it's really hard to make for me to not say David Lynch.
See, like I said, I think just like, I don't know, Social Network, Gone Girl, these are things I can just throw on the TV and like I'm like, oh, I'll sit down for half an hour and I fucking love this movie. But I mean,
What, you can't just sit down and watch Inland Empire anytime you want?
No, that's not one that I like to catch like a middle 45 minutes of. Let's see. Next question. Question for the pod. This is from Dokamoy. Which wrestler is the best follow on Twitter?
And
let me look and see which ones I do follow.
I mean, it feels like
Twitter
none.
accounts are against the spirit of wrestling.
I'm following Titan J. That's a good one. Slade is actually a pretty good follow. At Slade is alive.
Slade's a solid follow. I feel like if the question is Facebook accounts, it's a much more difficult question.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I've prepared so much for Facebook, but Twitter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have Facebook, so
Twitter's also like managed to become like mostly unusable. So like that makes it like who should I follow on Twitter at all?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you follow; they're gonna show you something else.
Yeah, you're gonna get videos of little kids fighting and people selling bitcoins, whether you want it or not.
I'm still following Steve Albini. Remember when people tried to cancel him after he died?
It's because he loved sandwiches too much.
Well, I could, detail the real reasons, but yeah.
Question from Isabel. What was the worst question Bill Simmons got in his mailbag this week? For context, I did threaten to just use all of Bill Simmons' questions on this pod if I didn't get enough questions. He had Chris Ryan on this week, and I have to agree with him. I don't want to talk about ways to fix tanking. It's like the entire universe decided to talk about it nonstop for the last 10 days, and I'm fucking done with it. So
because there weren't games, there was nothing to talk about.
It's just so much. Like if I had to see any other fucking nerds tell me their new equation for the draft, I'm gonna just delete all social media. I don't want to hear about it. Everything's fine. I've watched losing teams my entire life. I've been to Browns games where it's -5 out, and I'm watching the Browns and the Jags punt it back and forth for the final score to be like 9-3. It's still a good time. Tanking's fine.
The only thing about Bill Simmons this week that I care about is the clip of the Pepsi ad read followed by the Coke ad read.
Yeah. Now I haven't delved this deep into the my psychosis, but there is a Bill Simmons podcast where they just discuss his podcast on their podcast. And I think that's just like when I think about my grand visions for VPR, when we're just selling mugs all over the world, we have someone every week comes on and talks about what we talked about and judges us.
Yeah, someone talking about us talking about the Jim Fannin podcast.
That's what we need. We need to really just go down the rabbit hole. Cole, Q for the P. Best Jay-Z album?
Blueprint.
Pat?
Honestly, I think I have to go with the Black Album just because it's less about objective quality and more about being tied to a specific moment in time.
Yeah, I do love the Black Album, but like the Blueprint is just like that. It's not just like a big Jay-Z album. That's like Kanye's coming out party as a producer.
I mean, that's probably just, I mean, the Blueprint's the answer. It's probably just one of the best albums ever in general, much less Jay-Z. But I thought it'd be really funny, like, to give like the widest answer and be like, I really like Collision Course.
The Dynasty, very underrated album, I would say. Dynasty is a really rock solid album.
Now,
Doesn't get enough love.
This next question, I really feel like could be tough. Like, to decide, how long this episode goes. But Pork wants to know top, however many you want to, depending on how you're feeling at this point in the recording, favorite Survivor players. Chris, I feel like you are the Survivor expert. Yeah, so I will let you take the lead on how many you want to name.
I know some people hate him, but Boston Rob is my GOAT. I love Boston Rob. Tyson is. I love Tyson, like his little arc of kind of underachieving his first few seasons and then playing like such a fucking great game that's like emotionally captivating, but he's still like the smart ass like charmer Tyson. Like I do love Tyson. Tony, obviously one of the goats. Parv, going from like kind of a sex appeal flirtatious casting on her first season to becoming like one of the like truly great visceral players in Survivor history. Like she's like Parvati is awesome. Ozzy obviously has like diminishing returns with all of his seasons, but like I love watching Ozzy just do challenges. It's just always lovely. Like Coach, obviously, like Coach anytime he's on screen in any season, no matter like what form, if he's like somewhat self-aware, if he's absolutely not self-aware, anything he says is gold.
I thought you were going to somehow not mention Coach after we like raved about him before we
we
recorded.
Were talking.
Like,
I may be meeting Coach in a few weeks if I do want to go to that event.
The only ones, the only ones you haven't mentioned so far that I think would be high on mine would be Kelly Wentworth. And then you just said Suri.
Shane. My favorite one season player is Shane Powers, the GOAT of almost going on Survivor a second time. I think he was considered for like 4 other seasons and either was denied or backed out. And Panama, Suri's first season, Shane is such an unhinged player with his imaginary BlackBerry, his like deep nicotine withdrawals, and then like he's able to go on that reward and get a cigarette, and he's so happy that he's smoking a cigarette. And I love him. Jonathan Penner, a shout out to Jonathan Penner, one of the great narrators in Survivor history, also the writer of the hit film The Bye Bye Man. Accomplished actor. He was on Seinfeld. I love Jonathan Penner. I can go on. I can.
Someone I was about to say someone from a somewhat recent season I like, but it's not recent. Is I like Spencer, but I also think we're.
I don't like Spencer.
I can see why. I just was trying to think of a recent season, which I now am realizing is 20 seasons ago.
best actual recent Survivor player who is on Survivor 50 is Q. I love Q. Because he is like a true chaos agent in every sense of the word. You don't understand at any point what he's doing, and I don't think he understands what he's doing.
But he's so fucking confident.
He's so confident, and like 1 second he's threatening to quit the game, and then he makes it like 4 more tribals, and they're just like, no, we have to get rid of Q because he's like fucking everything up. And like that's delightful. Another like go more like not new era but recent, another Survivor 50 player, Christian. Like Survivor casts so many nerd archetypes, including like your Spencers or your like John Cochrans of the world, and like a million different players in the new era are the nerd archetype. But Christian is like that nerdy character who has swag, and like he's smart, but he's also sociable and like impossible to deny that like
that you said
this
the nerd
isn't
archetype.
Just some nerd.
That's why I like Spencer, is that I like one of my best friends growing up like is Spencer, like looks so much like him, and is like he's just my nerdy buddy Spencer. And then I just Q moment. There's a moment that really killed me and my sister who we all watched Survivor with, where he goes out. I can't remember I don't remember the context at all, but he's just like, why does my road always have to be the hardest? It's just I'm excited for that guy to be on. But
yeah, he's so sick when they're like playing where they're just like, all right, let's like let loose a little, let's play some hide and seek, and Q is just like hiding in a tree analyzing everyone's game, like, oh, this person is dog shit at hide and seek, gotta get rid of him. This person is too good at hide and seek, gotta get rid of him. He's such a beast.
Holy shit. But yeah, I think that covers it, Pork. Isabel says, do we have to preface questions with Q for the P now or not? I think you do.
Yeah, it's preferred.
Q for the P from Tim. Would you rather watch a dozen current Eric Stevens matches in one sitting or eat a dozen Eric Stevens cum cookies in one sitting? Bonus questions. Best fruit to rub on. Bonus question. Best fruit to rub on your junk.
Pineapple.
The gun is going in my mouth. The only sensible answer to this is just to blow my brains out. I'm sorry.
I'm going to stay on the other side of Pat and hope he gets me too. I guess best fruit. I kind of want to. I guess I'll rub like a banana on there. You know, no further questions. Q for the man. I don't know what's going on with the listeners. Q for the P from Cole. Best wrestlers to play soggy biscuits with.
Gun in my mouth.
I'm picking up Pat's gun and hoping there's another bullet. Pray.
I think that you got to figure out who has abused steroids to the point where they can't actually produce cum anymore.
I guess me and Hammerstone.
Yeah, like Hammerstone, Ryback, like all those guys where it's just like their endocrine system has shorted out and they just cannot actually get hard.
Let's see. Next from Nick Yeoman. What 5 wrestlers from history would comprise the Survivor Series team with the most brand synergy with dude wipes? So we're saying, does that mean we think they have the cleanest butts or the dirtiest butts?
I guess it would be the people who have the most use for dude wipes.
Well, then you're thinking I'm thinking big asses. Like you got to think
Rikishi
and Viscera. These guys are going through a lot of wipes.
Rikishi,
we're back
Viscera,
to Madman Pondo,
Bastion Booger, Madman Pondo, and let's just throw Supreme from XPW in there.
Oof.
He seems like a guy who would
I want to
enjoy
say
Dude Wipes.
R.I.P. Is that true?
I believe so.
Okay. Ducky, question for the pod. If you saw this happen, what would you do? And it's a video of someone hanging upside down on a Detroit bus.
That's Hamtramck. They're not a vampire. That's just like, let's respect the Polish people, please.
I don't know if Chris will take affront to this, but I'd be asking myself why I ended up on a bus in Detroit.
A bus in Detroit, that's what we call Jerome Bettis, Detroit legend.
Ooh.
Ended his career. Super Bowl in Detroit.
I hope one day I can go see a Super Bowl in Hammond, Indiana.
That's where everyone loves watching Chicago football, Indiana.
Okay, next question. Dokomoe, question for the pod. If you were charged with murder and had to pick a wrestler to defend you at trial, who would you choose? Now, Eamon jumped in there with David Otunga, which feels like the best answer.
It depends on, what kind of lawyer is Otunga?
I mean, what kind of lawyer is any other wrestler ever?
That's true, but there are probably wrestlers who've talked their way out of murder raps.
Oh, the Beast Mortos. He got his law degree, right? And he's got to be handsome. And
you know who I would want?
I'd pick him.
I would want Tracy Smothers, if we can pick from like anyone in history. I feel like Tracy Smothers would either talk, his way into me being found completely innocent on all charges, or he would talk both of us into the electric chair.
I'm picturing him being like, "You will acquit my client or everybody dies."
I mean, hey, if it works.
Oh my gosh. Chris, who's defending you?
I was gonna say Jimmy Snuka, but if Jimmy, because he has experience getting himself off of heinous charges, but then he would have to, like, if he was defending me, he would probably admit that he knows English, and that would cause a lot of problems.
Well, I think wasn't it that Vince McMahon was the one who said, Vince McMahon would be a good choice for having like a total freak lawyer.
Yeah, very fair.
I'm trying to think how to say this name. Sam has a question. Question for the pod. Which member of the Discord would you most like to be stranded on a desert island with? Also, least like to have dinner with?
The answer to both is Tim.
Chris, what do you got?
I would love to be stranded on an island with my friend the Flayblazer.
We have 300 members, and I say this with love. I don't think a single one of you would be useful on an island. I'm really racking my brain. I'm like, there's got to be someone here who talks about, outdoorsy things. I don't think we have that in our Discord. So I'm just going to pick Sam so I could ask him what his desert island matches are. I hope he brought them. And he's also the one I would least like to have dinner with because he quit the pod and died. Our last question from Dokomoy. Question for the pod. Best song with the word survivor in the song title? The only one I can think of is Destiny Child song, so that's my pick.
Yeah, that's... Is there another song with Survivor?
Let me open up Spotify here real quick.
There's Soul Survivor by Young Jeezy featuring Akon.
Isn't there a Rolling Stones one, Soul Survivor too? Is that?
Probably. There's probably a few Soul Survivor songs.
Oh, Reba
But the one
McEntire,
that
I'm a
I thought
survivor.
was the Jeezy song.
All right, let me.
Yeah,
I'm scrolling through the results on my digital streaming platform, and I don't feel enthused that there is much more.
I think I'm going with Reba for my final choice.
I'm gonna go with Soul Survivor by the Rolling Stones. It's the last song on Exile on Main Street. It's a great song.
Oh yeah. That is our final question. I think everyone should watch HIJO del TARAHUMARA versus Ray Dragon and read Chris's analyzing Johnny Fairplay's 2025 Wrestler of the Year case. You guys got anything else?
Pistons are up big on the Knicks without their top 2 centers. And I just wish there was like any Knicks fan I could talk to right now, but unfortunately, I don't even think Knicks fans exist.
I've never felt or thought the sentence, I wish there were Knicks fans around.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, is anything going on with the 2CW Patreon?
There's no way to know, and there's no way to know if they're ever running shows again.
Oh well.
I do think it's funny that the top 4 in the East, it's likely to be the Cavs, the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Pistons. Too bad we don't have a Knicks fan, like you said.
Yeah, at least we have 3 of the 4. The 3 teams that matter, honestly.
Yeah, maybe the Knicks can go on a losing streak and we can bump up the Raptors and make Cole a permanent 4th. I think that's a good thing to say. If the Raptors finish 4th, Cole has to be a full-time 4th host.
I think that we can set that in stone.
Yeah, it's binding. All right.